Okay, so we're back with part two. We were just talking about incognito, bad influences. Um, Everything these two guys do is just gold. It's been fascinating watching the journey of Zach Overkill. Basically, character who's put into a kind of a supervillain witness relocation program, and is living this very boring and dull life, and of course he fucking hates it and wants to start using his powers again, at least somehow. And it's just, he's superhuman, super strong, speed, and so he doesn't have like a specific power such as like Holden Carver did in Sleeper, where he could absorb pain and then transfer it to another person, which was such an awesome thing for that character. But anyway, so the art is wonderful. I love Phillips's art. I love it. And when he's working with Brubaker again, I mean, this is a very, very, very potent and powerful force in comics. Incognito has just been, the first series, was just right on. It was so spot on. It did everything that a really great Brubaker comic should. Bad influences, he's going back in, he's going back undercover, working for the SOS, which is the organization that's put him in witness relocation in the first place, or witness protection, whatever you call it. And so now he's working his way back into the underworld as a mole for them. And his new love interest, Zoe Zeppelin. I love these names. It's so pulp. And that's the point of the whole goddamn series, is that Brubaker is recreating the pulp characters of the old radio shows and old pulp novels and old pulp comic books. Doc Savage, The Shadow, Captain Midnight. So many of these types of characters that were created as pulp characters. And that's another great thing about these comics, is they have a little, at the end of every issue, there's a little thing that they'll do on pulp characters. So that's just, something that has been really attractive. And then, because in Criminal, when they were doing that, at the end of pretty much every book, there was a little essay about pulp novels, or I shouldn't say pulp, but like noir films and noir novels, and that was great. It's like Brubaker knows me. It feels like he does. He knows exactly what I love, and he just keeps writing it and keeps kicking so much ass at it. So, Ed, continue the good work. So now on to Mark Millar, who had 2 books come out this week, both also of the Icon line in Marvel. And, these are all entirely, this is the creator-owned, for those who don't know, it's creator-owned properties that are essentially just being published by a large publishing company like Marvel. But we have 2 books that, like I said, that came out this week. We have the finale of Millar and Steve McNiven's Nemesis, and we have number 3 of Millar and Yu's Superior. 2 radically different books. Both have already, I think, been sold as movies. Now, that's one of the things that honestly kind of bothers me about Mark Millar, is that he seems to be very focused on, since the success of Kick-Ass, as a film property. I didn't like the film. I loved the comic. I didn't like the film. I think they fucked with it too much in the film version. But he was behind that, so whatever. So, Tony Scott apparently is going to be directing Nemesis. I don't know how that's going to turn out. I don't know who they're going to get. But Nemesis, if you're unfamiliar, it's essentially Batman if he were a villain. That's what's so cool about it, is that it's basically taking the idea, okay, what if Batman, instead of using all of that intelligence and wealth and physical stamina to right wrongs and to beat up the bad guys, what if you used those same attributes and used them to be a supervillain? And basically, it makes him literally the most dangerous person alive. That's what Nemesis is. But with the finale of this arc, I guess, because it looks like it's going to continue, and that's where the surprise comes in. That's the real surprise. I mean, there's so many surprises in this final issue. There's some really great stuff. I mean, Nemesis basically taking on the United States top cop, and he does some really horrible shit. Basically, in the last issue, he kidnaps the cop's gay son and daughter, and artificially inseminates the daughter with the son's sperm. So I mean, it's so twisted and so vile, and that's what's wonderful about it. And so Nemesis basically, it's kind of it's just a really, really awesome villain story, and that's part of what makes it fun, is that it's primarily about the villain. But like I said, there are a lot of reveals. I'm not going to give anything away here. It's a great read. It's a great finish to this arc. It's the only thing I will kind of say is that there will be a book 2 of Nemesis. It does not end here. Superior. It seems like at first glance it does seem like, okay, well, this is just another kind of kid wish fulfillment. Okay, this it's a kid who has MS, and he has a favorite hero that calls himself Superior. It's a movie hero, and this space monkey, some kind of otherworldly monkey that talks, appears to him and says, basically, it's kind of like Shazam to Billy Batson. He changes this frail kid with MS into this, super muscular, super strong superhero. And of course, since he has the mind of a child, who still believes in, good versus evil and so on and so forth, and that good shall win out over any evil, and that, he needs to be, essentially, he's a very, Superman-esque character. So he has this inherent goodness in him. So he's spending all of his time saving people, but still also he's a kid, mentally. So, I mean, there are obviously trials that he's going through. Not that they really get too much into that. Now, these are two completely opposite books. I mean, one is about evil, one's about good. And now Millar McNiven and artist Steve McNiven, they made their bones together, obviously, with Civil War for Marvel. And then they reteamed again for Old Man Logan, for that arc of Wolverine, which I thought was a horrific waste of time. And that's the thing about Millar, is that sometimes he's so right on. I mean, he does some of the best work that I've seen in years. The Ultimates, Kick-Ass, just, this Nemesis. But when he's off, like with some of the more recent Ultimate Avengers stuff, which is a little off, and then there's some stuff that's that was really off, like Old Man Logan. It's just sad. Okay, so we're going into 3 parts here. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.